Hey, BookTube, welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie, and it's time for a thrift books haul. Although one of them is not actually from thrift books. So, of course, I got 3 books from thrift books. Recently, I made a thrift books haul purchase. So, but first, I'm going to show you the one I did not get from thrift books. So, we recently visited my sister, and because there's a BJ's there where you can buy things in bulk, my mom made a stop there, and of course I wasn't gonna I wasn't gonna follow her around like a little kid, so I went to my favorite section at BJ's, which is the little book display section. There's usually this stand of books, like this display of a bunch of books. Although, it was first of all, it was just so weird being back there after 4 years. Although I haven't been to that BJ's since we moved, I don't think. But, I mean, I've been to other ones, but I don't think I've ever been to that BJ's, since we moved. Their books, it was mostly the same, but the way they had their books was a little bit different. This, had changed. Like, it was now, they had 2 displays of a bunch of books, and they also had a display of books like these. And this is an encyclopedia of Tolkien, the history and mythology that inspired Tolkien's world. David Day. So I am quite a fan. I am still pretty, I'm not a hardcore fan, but I am a fan of Lord of the Rings. More so the movies than the books. And I've always been curious. I always found it so interesting, the world he created. Almost the fact that he created this is even more interesting than the world itself for me. And so I kind of want to know more about what inspired him. And I'm also more interested in mythology and the different types of mythology and stuff. I kind of already grew up with like Christian quote-unquote mythology. I already knew about that kind of stuff because, it's, and so I want to learn about other mythologies, especially because some of them are just plain downright weird. And like, it's like, wow, especially like people like gods like Zeus he's such a man whore. It's hilarious how many mortals he's been with. And there's probably so many little half-god children that have powers running around during that time in Greece at the time. But I mean, Tolkien even created his own language. I mean, he's so smart, and it was so impressive that he did that. So I found it kind of interesting to look at this. Plus, this is great. The look of this book is really so cool. It looks like, which this was probably done, the person who created this edition probably did this on purpose, because, they wanted to make it look kind of like an old book, kind of like around the time period that he would have, time period that Tolkien was a part of. And it's an alphabetical order, which is nice. It says on the back, Tolkien scholar and best-selling author David Day's 4 decades of research inform the compelling encyclopedia about the lands, inhabitants, and languages and geography and the history of Middle-earth. This volume on Tolkien's world also includes over 900 illustrations and an appendix that examines the legends that were sources for Tolkien's creation. Sanga and Saga in the I cannot pronounce it. I cannot say this. It's an N word. I don't know how to pronounce like Norse words and stuff. And Richard Wagner's Ring Cycle. But yeah, so I thought this was really cool. It was either this one or the poetry thing. The poetry of Robert Frost. And I decided on this one. Okay, so now on to the books that my thrift books order. So it was either between this or Senlin Ascends. I almost kind of regret not picking that one, but I decided to wait on that one. Maybe ask for that one, hopefully I'll get that one for Christmas. But The Queens of Innisleer by Tessa Gradden. Now, I am curious if people would recommend me reading. I mean, I would, like, it would be good for me to read the Shakespeare play, King Lear, which this is kind of inspired by. Although Elliot Brooks herself, I think she read it and she had not read the King Lear play, but it's like, it's one of these where it would probably give context to things. But I think I could still potentially enjoy this just as a fantasy story. I mean, I enjoyed the Odyssey, and I have not read the Iliad. Although, to be fair, I have seen the movie Troy with Brad Pitt and Orlando Bloom and Eric Bana, which is essentially the Iliad, but done in a more appealing to modern audiences. So yeah, I mean, obviously I was going to attempt that when we were at my sister's, but I don't know why. I always do this when we go to my sister. I bring like a handful of books. Although the time before, I was able to narrow it down to 2 books, which, and it was actually kind of because I talked to my mom about it, and she was like, just bring 2 books, and it's like, because she said it, there was a little bit of expectations that I should follow that and actually do that. But once again, I still brought too many books. I only dipped in a few of them and dipped in each one, but I didn't finish any of them. Not that I finished the 2 books I brought with me the time before, but that was because they were, big books. But I don't know why I bring so many. I know I'm barely gonna get to any of them. I'll maybe read a little bit of them, but because of the, when I go to my sister's, we're always on the go, we're always doing something, and then on top of that, like, it's kind of, I want to play with my nephews and my niece. I want to spend as much time with them, and even then, when I'm like, let them go off and play and do what they want, or they're taking a nap, it's still hard for me to concentrate when I'm there, because there's so much going on around me. And then because when they wake up early, so I end up waking up early. So it's hard for me. I'm tired, so it's hard for me to concentrate. So it's just, I can never pick what books I want to bring, what books I should bring with me. So I end up bringing a bunch of them. And this was one of the books I brought with me, and I didn't even get to it. I didn't even crack it open. I just was like, it was one of these things where I just got them. And I was looking at them and I'm like, I want to bring one of my new books with me. I did make a good amount of progress on Howard's End. I did, I'm on chapter 20 of that one, and that's, I think, 44 chapters or something. So, that's something. And then, I've been making the rest of them was little bits and pieces of progress. So I got that one, and then the other 2. So I've been trying to build my Bronte collection and get books from each of the Bronte sisters, and read them, because I love Jane Eyre, and it's I need to, I want to read some of their other books. So far, I've only read Emily Charlotte. I've only read books by them, so I decided to buy Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte. I've not read anything by her yet. And so I've been wanting to, so I decided to get this one. I'm glad I picked this, because I forgot that until just now, that this one is by Anne Bronte. It was just on my list, so I forgot which Bronte sister was by. But it was I need to buy something by one of them, so I can grow my collection of Bronte novels. So I bought this one, and I don't know a lot about what it's about. Okay, so it looks at the inequalities of the class system in the mid-19th century. She comes from, our main character, Agnes, comes from a middle-class family. She has to, but their financial, their finances reverse, and she has to take a job as a governess, which I think a lot of their books have to do with one of them, each of them becoming governor, has to do with the life of a governess. Because I guess that's what they know, they have all, I think they've all taken jobs as governess, and I think that was really the best job for a woman, either that or a teacher or a nurse, I think were the only jobs you either, which I guess a governess is kind of a teacher, or it's like a combination of a teacher and a nanny, I think. Pampered and protected at home, she is unprepared for the harsh reality of the governess's life at the Bloomsfield and later the Murrays. Oh, okay, so this is the one where she goes with more than, you see her with various different families who, some of them, treat her like shit. Yeah, so she suffers under snobbery and sadism of self-indulgent upper-class adults and the shrieking insolence of their spoiled children. Yeah, but yeah, they write about that a lot. You can tell this is a used copy because it's already, it's all bent. The pages are not, white, they're, more yellowish now, and, they have a little bit of stain, but it's still pretty, to me it's as long as I can read them still, and they're not, they're still readable, then I'm fine with it. It shows that they were very much loved by the original owner, whoever donated to Thrift Books. Which, I wonder how that works. I'm kind of curious, because, I guess you mail it in or something. So, yeah, I'm, again, I totally forgot this was by Anne Bronte, so that's great that I finally have an Anne Bronte novel to talk about. And the last one is one that I've been wanting to reread, and I wanted a different version, and I've been trying to collect. There's at least two, or three. There's a couple different types of classics editions that I really love, and I want to get them all. One of them, of course, is these, the Barnes & Noble. I like them because they're all different colors. I know not everybody loves them, because some people probably think they're kind of plain and boring. There's nothing special about them. It's just like with the mass markets where they have some kind of portrait or painting or whatever, and then, but I just really like them. I like how they're all different color. Each one is a different color. And then the Penguin English Library Edition I really like. I'm gonna get those. The problem is those are hard to get, along with this other one that I just got, which I'll show you that in a minute. I also like the World Cloud Classics editions, which you can get those at Books A Million. Again, color. I like that they're all different colors. And then they have quotes imprinted on them, and then I like these ones, the World Cloud Classics edition and World Clothbound editions. I've been wanting to get these for a while, and it's hard because and this is Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, and it's very hard to get these. This was a lucky grab, I think. And, I'm not constantly on that website. I can't constantly buy books every month. So, although, I wonder if I might have been doing that. I don't know. Like I said, it's not as funny to my parents, because they're very worried about my spending habits. Because, if you with buying, even though books might not cost as much, depending on the types of books you buy, it still can add up. And I get why my parents are very worried about me spending money. Of course, my friend is like, it's your money, you spend how you want. But, she's not responsible for me. She's not trying to teach me anything. So, but, yeah, so, it's very hard to get these on Thrift Books. I feel like I need to, just try to focus on just like, it's almost easier to get them on Amazon, which I know right now no one wants to buy from Amazon because first they want to promote used bookstores and independent bookstores, and then also people like, they don't want to promote companies like Amazon for, other things the way, but it's what my mom uses, to buy things for people, I mean, she still goes shopping, of course, but, and it's not, people are not going to stop buying things on Amazon, so I'm not going to, but anyway, you can tell this, again, with this one, you can tell it's used because there's a bit of a water stain on which I'm glad that it's just on this part and not on the pages. But I was actually recently watching Jennifer Brooks, where she talked about Jane Austen in romanticism, in the Romantics. And she talked about this one along with Mansfield Park and Persuasion, and how it explores themes of the Romantics. So that kind of got me to like, I want to pick up Sense and Sensibility right now. But I'm trying to, the only problem with that is I'm trying to read. If I'm in the middle of another book, I want to finish at least one of my books, one or two of my books, before I pick up a new book. But yeah, I want to give this one a reread because I like this one, and also to me, I want to read more, but I want to I want to explore, I want to continue to read more books about sisters, and because I find sister stories really interesting, especially as someone who is a sister, the younger one, and I feel like I could kind of relate to those, although I think I'm more of a Eleanor than a Marianne. I mean, I don't know, maybe a mixture of both. I don't know, because I don't think I'm as judgmental as Marianne is, but, that's why I sometimes think I lean more towards Eleanor than Marianne. But it also goes back to, maturity level. I think Marianne is a little more immature than Eleanor. But anyway, so those are the books I recently got from Thrift Books, including that one that's on Thrift Books order, but I got it from a store. So, is there any? I don't know if I'm gonna. Well, first, I don't know if I'm gonna buy any more books this month. But I mean, who knows? I might. Always chance I could go to book. I might go to Books Million for the end of the month. So, if there's any books that you've recently purchased, I would love to hear, which books you've bought. If you have in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not already. Click the bell notification below if you want to. Tongue back here. If you want to know when I'm posting videos, and I hope you are staying safe and continue to read and love your reading. And I know that a lot of people right now, because of what happened last year and it's still going on, people have just been out of sorts with their reading. So I hope you're not feeling that way and you're still enjoying it. And I will talk to you all later. All right, bye.